Love life, good and righteous things that make you beautiful inside. These you will take with you forever. Jesus said, "Do not lie and do not do what you hate, for all things are plain in the sight of heaven. For nothing hidden will become manifest, which will not be revealed, and nothing covered will remain without being uncovered." You always need to be true to yourself and those around you. Do not compromise yourself with false expectations. When I write, I cannot do it when I'm angry or upset because the fire I carry within me, the light that I carry within my soul, wants to burst into flames and shout out to everyone what they are doing wrong. Yes, I get angry when I see people who are selfish. Those who can do something, do not do anything. I am not perfect, or consider myself to be perfect. But every day I strive to be better because I believe in the righteous acts, thoughts, and words that we as humans can be, do, or say to make everyone beautiful inside, because that is what you will carry with yourself forever, in this lifetime and in the next. Respect people's identity and choices because everyone is different, and everyone is unique. That is how our Creator, our Father, the universe, whatever you want to call it, Elohim. That is how He made us, so we can all appreciate each other's abilities and differences. But when it is time to fight back evil, I will. And some things out there through the media are deceiving, making it look good when it's bad. I have been given many abilities just like you. One of the professions I chose as my profession is to analyze political, economic, and societal situations. I do my own research, and it seems like many of those who are social justice warriors are not righteous at all when you look at what they stand for, their beliefs, and what they have done so far. It's horrifying. In fact, when they truly need to work towards what they say they defend, they don't do it. You cannot do this to innocent people. When I write messages about detaching from old beliefs, I mean it. Racism is implanted in your brain by politicians who want to gain from it. It makes you weak-minded, making you a low-tolerant person, making you angry and upset at others, making you feel ugly, making you feel that you cannot do anything, that you will always belong in the hood, and that is your place. My question to you is, do you want that? I do not think so. That is how the media, politics, and old societal beliefs trap you and keep you from becoming who you can be and should be. Level up, and stop letting another dictate to you. You are a child of your Creator, and from His eyes, there is no color. Everyone matters. I hope this message finds every one of you in great loving spirits. Please love yourself, respect yourself, learn how to appreciate others, and give the same respect and love you create for yourself to others. In the last couple of years, I have heard so many things about people being started seeds. At first, I thought people were going crazy. Why would they call themselves that? According to their views, they are souls incarnated here on Earth from other galaxies. Well, if we think about it and go back to the origins of humans here on Earth, even in the Book of Enoch, the way the humans were created, they were brought here, and as I explained earlier, the way our souls connect with our bodies and collide to start a process of creating a new being. So, if a once cosmic race came to this Earth through the birth process, then who can say that many others from different constellations have come to Earth in the same way? We hear about people's testimony of seeing aliens, UFOs, and experiencing interplanetary conversations with them. At this point, I do not think that NASA or governments will hide anymore, especially because there are too many people who have seen them, and many who have video recordings. Have a modern liberal view to open your mind to what is out there, a conservative soul that keeps the basic principles and still remembers who we are. That is advancement. Do not be stuck in the past. We are beings of intelligence, creation, so bring the good qualities from the past into a new world, a new you. But how do you recognize this? As I said, when I was a child, I did not feel part of the family I was in. I was the only child of my mom. My dad was not around, and even though I wanted to have a normal family like everyone else, I did not have that as a child or in my adult life. I wanted it, but it wasn't for me, and even when I had it for a short period of time, I felt I was lying to myself and hiding the true me under some structure that did not fit my true self. Something was missing. Societal problems were already part of my family, as I grew up in a country where socialism and the bad economy had already taken hold before I was born, making it difficult for young people to have more freedom to do what I wanted. In my mind, I wanted to learn how to play an instrument and be a musician, but my mother wanted me to study accounting. She used to say that she would eat her t-shirt if I went down that route. There were no opportunities for those who had brains to create or do something different. The path was only open for those who knew someone in the system, so they could accommodate themselves in good, high-paying roles. I understood her concern, but I also wanted to live my own life and have the freedom to choose what made me happy. And even though I went down the path within the church to get married, have a family and kids, that is what I wanted as a child. However, once I had it, I thought I was happy, but I was not treated the way I deserved by my spouse. I don't regret having my 2 kids, but the life I had wasn't what I thought I deserved and wanted. It took me a lot of prayers, meditation, and constant communication with my Father to find out more about myself. We are the essence of our souls, the pure love, innocence, integrity, and emotions, negative, positive, feminine, and masculine, all combined to form the beauty of who you really are. Be an example and bring forth those values to future generations to help them shine and see their beauty within themselves, open their consciousness, and learn to respect each other, our world, and our nature. We are energy, and everything we do, think, and say requires energy. It requires some effort on our part. Effort that can be spent on other things that we consider more valuable and nurturing to our souls. Do not waste your energy on people who only drain you. Don't waste it on those who don't know the value of your efforts. Do not waste your thoughts and actions on people, places, and things that don't help your spiritual, emotional, and physical progress. Be part of a greater self. You are the creator of your own world and have the power to manifest if you believe it. This lifetime is a test for you to learn, to fail, to try, and rebuild. If you do not understand this concept, it will be impossible to move up to the next level. Everyone wanted me to be their safety net and their support, all because I decided not to be like the rest of them. I was born in a country with a constant socio-political conflict and corruption that prevented smart and talented people from thriving. Still, it wasn't going to stop me from being who I wanted to be and keep evolving at every level, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally. I am not fearless and not afraid to confront anything, which has gotten me further than anyone in my family. So I was the one they asked for everything. At some point, I felt obliged to help other people because I was the one who had the means to do it. But when it came to me, the time to help me, I was alone. I said to myself, enough. I do not owe anyone anything. In fact, it's the opposite. Only imprinted labels that were stabbed like a knife, cutting deep scars in me. Levels from society as a child that raised me to believe that I was here to give but not to receive. Telling me that it's my job to do so because they are my family. Not knowing that when true love is around, you will not just give, but you will also receive. So I learned to block the takers and erase them from my life. It's hard to cut off the chains, the mentality I was raised to be chained down to fear. Fear of being alone, but I was already alone. Fear of not having a family. Fear of what others will say. Fear is a tool used by the opposition to control and diminish you. Fear is just a step away from true happiness. Fear is the wall right in front of you that prevents you from becoming who you are. It's a control mechanism society uses to prevent you from succeeding. Fear is the most powerful tool that evil entities use to strangle you and prevent you from being free, emotionally, spiritually, and financially free. Freedom is a choice and the most rewarding feeling, but it comes after sacrifice, rebuilding, and reprogramming yourself. Attachment. You probably know what that is, but you never thought of it as we, the society. Everyone has a loss of identity. You'd probably say, I know who I am. What is she talking about? Well, my friend, let me explain a simple story. A couple of days ago, my 13-year-old son asked me what I thought about gay people. I said, "Why are you asking me this?" His response was, at school, there was a kid who openly mentioned to everyone that he was attracted to boys. I was like, oh man. This is the tough part of being a parent, but teaching what is right with love and compassion to my kids so they can grow to be good, compassionate, and lovable people to others is my duty. So, no matter what others will say about what I am teaching to my kids, I will tell them to always defend what is right. Now, how would you know what is right? First, I would say look inside of you and try to put yourself into someone's shoes and walk the same path they do, to at least understand a little bit of what they are going through. So, there I began. Do you know that our souls are pure energy? Energy made of positive and negative traits, but also feminine and masculine traits. This energy is what makes us who we are inside of us. We all have these traits, men and women. So, what society considered feminine decades ago is women staying at home, cooking in the kitchen, having babies, cleaning the house, and creating crafty items for the house. While men were considered the providers and the breadwinners, women were considered emotional. While men are tough and never show tears, boys can cry too. Boys have feelings, and many know how to cook better than me and can sew better than I can. But women are considered sensitive. While men are fighters, women are soft and gentle, while men are rough and tough. So, if we translate these same traits into gentle as positive and rough as negative, do you think this is fair to judge a man this way? As negative? How about a woman who needs to strive in her own way to find funds to support her family? If people look and judge her as gentle and sweet, I bet she would not go that far ahead in the business world. So, I kept going. Some people have more of one trait than the other. There are so many factors that influence these traits to develop, with one of these being more pronounced than the other. This includes the way we are raised, social behaviors, etc. But as our souls are made of energy, each one of us is completely different from the other. The only implication we have is when we come here to obtain a body and live a physical experience, and where others make the rules for the rest of us to fit in. Rules made by religions, politicians, cultural societies, and even our own families. Most people find that the church is a good source of structure in people's lives, and so they go because they want their kids to be good citizens. Others go to church because they think their sins are going to be erased by just going and not doing anything about what they did. In the case of stealing, cheating, whatever they have done, going to church will help them to feel better about their wrongdoings, when that is not how it works. You need to repent by fixing the wrong that was caused and have a true change within yourself. And so, this is where people like you and I come to this world and ask ourselves, why things are the way they are when you know it should not be this way? So, my child was looking for a straight answer, and I asked him what he thought about my explanation. I said I'd told you my answer already. Respect anyone for the way they are, treat them kindly. There is no shame in expressing yourself for the way you truly are inside. Life experiences put each one of us in situations to develop ourselves to become who we are to become, but many restrain themselves because of these external factors that chain us down to dogma, old beliefs that the world has put there for us, and constrain us from freedom. These habits passed from generation to generation have created a mental jail to prevent you from moving forward and becoming the best version of yourself, to level up and be who you truly are. So, I think my son finally got it. But the problem I see is that many people who feel different from what their physical body says are not truly loving themselves in the body they have decided and chosen to live in. And many make alterations and adjustments, just like a piece of clothing can be altered, when our physical body is so much more than that. It's our home, and yes, we chose this body while being here on our journey in this world. So cherish it, take care of it, it's your home, it's the temple of your soul to protect your soul, and once it's broken, you cannot have it back. It is very important to emphasize this, as many do not pay proper attention to their bodies, and then they wonder why they get sick, get old so quickly, are tired, and lose weight. They just need to pay attention and have a bit of self-care, not just physically but spiritually. When you finally understand this, you will know that what you create inside yourselves will heal you, not just spiritually but physically. Yes, physically your light can heal your body too, and even turn back time. You truly do not know how powerful you are, but you do not know it because humanity has been controlled for centuries to fulfill its own purposes. Many of these people who are now defending who they truly are inside are making alterations to their bodies. Just because they are being rejected, offended, not respected, or accepted by those around them, they end up doing horrible things to themselves. We need to understand that our Father loves us the way we are, as long as we are respectful and righteous to ourselves and others. Denigrating our bodies is the worst thing you can do, disrespecting yourself and negating who you are. Have you cut family members from your life? I have. Many would be like, that is cruel. The truth is, it is not. Have you noticed that everyone who wants to start a different path that will lead them to a higher consciousness, or just be in a happy state of mind without other people, including family members, is draining you? It is completely fine to do that. When the stress from the relationship affects other aspects, areas of your life, listening to family members who are always talking about other family members in a negative way is not going to serve a higher purpose, no matter how bad the other person's actions are. These family members are bringing back old memories over and over about things that had happened to you that you want to forgive and forget. They are not doing you a favor, but are draining you emotionally, even when you tell them not to talk about that anymore. This gives you negative feelings about someone close to you that you should not have, causing you stress and eventually physical pain. If the relationship is one-sided, taking advantage of you and manipulating you, building up anxiety, can become abusive because the other person wants to control you. This is the main reason why you should establish boundaries and be firm about them, and in many situations, when someone does not get it, it's best to let them go and sometimes block them. At a certain point, they will realize that you need better, and that life is not about them or gossiping, that life is about everyone willing to compromise to do better for themselves and everyone around them. Petty arguments and negativism will only lead you to the hospital and no way back. So, if no one around you is there to provide support and build you up with optimism, then it's best to go your way alone with yourself. In the future, you may find other souls like yours with whom you can share a better life. All these are attachments, and you will need to deprogram from these to create your own version, a better version of yourself. Remember this: our actions have outcomes and consequences. We just need to make sure that those outcomes are good seeds that will grow for the benefit of those we love. In the past, I mentioned that no one is born with a manual to teach them what or how to do something. However, through trial and error, you learn. Talking to a friend about parenting and how this affects future generations leads us to why there are so many insecurities among adults. Some blame the abandonment issues and bad parenting behaviors, blah, blah, blah. But as I mentioned earlier, did your child come with a manual? Or were you born already knowing how to be a parent? When you had your first child, did you know how to change a diaper? No, I did not. In fact, the first time I changed a diaper, I used a lot more wipes than needed and washed his little tush to make sure it was completely clean. The fact is that psychology people suck. Why? Because they are looking to solve problems in studying human behavior when human behavior is complex. Remember, everyone is different, and no one will behave the same way. It's the same with kids. Treat them as adults with respect and kindness, and help them understand their own responsibility and consequences for every good or bad action they take. Everything can be simply solved with some good common sense of kindness, acceptance, respect, responsibilities, and most of all, being humble. Would you please teach your kids to be humble, saying things like, "Can I please get," and "Thank you," manners that I still struggle teaching my own kids because their dad does not enforce this. But when they are with me, I use these magic words and reinforce them every time I ask for a favor. They know that if one of them asks the other for a favor, I will insist that he ask properly. This is a simple act of respect. Teaching simple things such as this to your kids will allow them to become better adults. Teach your child to be honest in every situation. Many of you want to hide and protect them from harm, and build a barrier or a bubble to make them oblivious to everything. But as I said before, treat them as adults, but with the same respect and kindness that you would like to be treated with. Keep the balance, be friends, but with one hand you give love, and with the other, you are firm. Now, this is the main key. Most people blame their parents for their own behavior. However, it is up to you to become you. It is your choice to blame others for your own actions. Most people do. They blame the government, family, etc. But they never take responsibility for themselves or act on their own and make the right choices for their own benefit. Yes, our parents were not perfect and are still not. They are imperfect humans, just like everyone else. In fact, you can teach your own parents. I have done this, maybe because I was always an old soul and kept some of my knowledge, so I can remember what I am supposed to do here during this time. So, when you go out there and mingle with other people, remember they are not perfect, and they might not think the same way as you do, but with respect and communication, you can both achieve a lot more than expected. I have learned a lot on this earth since I was a child. I knew back then I had to accomplish something for the people to help them, but I did not know how. I thought that if I owned a business, I would help others by giving them jobs. These were my thoughts as a child, but as I experienced and lived life, and all the knowledge was given to me, I realized that my purpose was to come here and help everyone to wake them up to realize who they are. Since I was a child, I learned to pray and ask for guidance, and ever since, I feel that every chapter in my life was done with a purpose, but I never understood it until now. My mother made me study accounting, and even though I did not enjoy it as much, I wanted to figure out where the money goes and why it is hard for people to survive. Why did many suffer when we are all children of our Father? Why are we not using mercy, kindness, and helping each other? Instead, I could only see the opposite. When I moved to the USA, I decided to study finance and economics. My intentions were never gone. During this time, I was married, but I was not being treated the way I thought I would by my now ex, and I always felt I was living a lie, that I was not being me around these people, that something was missing, that my future did not end there.